All right, so welcome back for another deep dive. And this time we're going to be tackling something I bet you haven't thought a whole lot about, but trust me on this, you really don't want to ignore it. Bird mites. We've got some great research and information here. It's from Freedom Wildlife Solutions, and they're a pest control company. They really know their stuff when it comes to these tiny, but really troublesome creatures, these bird mites. And you might be thinking, well, bird mites, those are just a problem for birds, right? Well, get ready for a little surprise, because we're about to uncover why. These little guys, they can be a major headache for homeowners and businesses, too.
Yeah, most people don't even realize that these bird mites are actually arachnids. They're just like spiders and ticks. And just like their eight-legged cousins, they can survive for weeks without a host. So even after the birds have flown the coop, so to speak, you could still be dealing with a pretty bad infestation.
Oh, that's kind of creepy. So how do these bird mites even get into our homes, like in the first place?
Well, it often starts with birds nesting in vents or other openings in your house. And those vents, they provide a direct pathway for the mites to get inside and make themselves right at home.
So if you've ever had birds nesting in your vents, you might want to be paying attention right about now. So what happens when these mites get inside? I mean, they're called bird mites. So do they actually bite humans?
They do, unfortunately. Yes, they do. Their preferred meal is bird blood, of course. But they're not too picky. And they will happily feast on humans if the opportunity arises. And those bites, they can be incredibly itchy and irritating.
So it's not just about the ick factor of having these tiny creatures just crawling all around. It's the actual discomfort that they can cause.
Exactly. And for some people, it can be even worse. They can have allergic reactions to the bites, which can really make the situation go from bad to worse.
Oh, man, that sounds awful. So what can you do if you suspect you might have a bird mite problem?
Well, the first step is to confirm the infestation. And that's where a company like Freedom Wildlife Solutions comes in. They're a veteran and family-owned business, and they're based in Clayton, North Carolina. And they serve the Raleigh-Durham area. And they specialize in bird mite control.
I love supporting local businesses, and the fact that they're veteran and family-owned just adds a nice personal touch.
Absolutely. And they don't just jump into treatment right away. Their technicians are specifically trained in bird mite control. And they will conduct a detailed inspection of your property to pinpoint the source and the extent of the infestation.
So they're not just treating the symptoms, they're getting to the root of the problem.
Precisely. They're going to be looking for those nesting sites, identifying entry points, and really assessing the situation before they recommend any kind of course of action. And because they are fully licensed and insured, you can rest assured, knowing your home is in safe and professional hands.
That's so important. You want to know that the people that you're letting into your home are qualified and trustworthy. So what kind of treatments do they offer? I mean, how do you even get rid of these microscopic creatures?
Well, Freedom Wildlife Solutions uses a multi-pronged approach to ensure those mites are gone for good. One method they use is a dust treatment that targets the mites where they hide. It's safe for your family and pets, but it's deadly to those pesky mites.
That's reassuring to know, especially if you have kids and furry friends running around.
Oh, absolutely. But they don't stop there. They'll also safely and legally remove any bird nests to eliminate the source of the infestation and prevent future problems.
So it's not just about getting rid of the existing mites, it's about preventing them from coming back.
Exactly. They're looking at the long-term solution here, not just a quick fix. They'll also provide recommendations for securing vents and other potential nesting sites, so you can proactively prevent future infestations.
That's such a smart approach. It's like they're saying, we'll get rid of the problem now, but here's how you can stop it from happening again.
Yeah, exactly. And another service that sets them apart is their ongoing monitoring and maintenance. They don't just treat the problem and disappear. They offer regular checkups to ensure those mites haven't made a comeback and to provide ongoing support and advice.
It's like having a bird mite security system. So you've got the expert technicians, the thorough inspections, the targeted treatments, the nest removal, the preventative measures, and the ongoing monitoring. What else do they offer that makes Freedom Wildlife Solutions stand out from the crowd?
Well, one thing that really impressed me was their dedication to educating their clients. They empower homeowners and businesses to identify potential nesting sites and take preventative measures on their own. They're not just there to solve the problem. They want to equip you with the knowledge to prevent it from happening again.
That's fantastic. And speaking of knowledge, you mentioned earlier that bird mites can survive for weeks without a host. What does that mean for homeowners who are trying to get rid of them? Does it make the process more difficult?
Absolutely. It's one of the reasons why bird mite infestations can be so persistent, even if you think you've gotten rid of them. Those little survivors might be lurking in the shadows, just waiting for their next meal.
So it's not as simple as just spraying a little insecticide and calling it a day.
Not at all. It requires a comprehensive approach, which is exactly what Freedom Wildlife Solutions provides. They understand the life cycle of these creatures, their behaviors, and their hiding places, which allows them to target their treatments effectively.
So it's not just about brute force, it's about using knowledge and strategy to outsmart those mites.
Exactly, and their commitment to customer satisfaction is evident in everything they do. They offer a satisfaction guarantee, demonstrating their confidence in their work and commitment to their customers.
That's a big deal in this industry.
Yeah.
It shows they're not just taking your money and running, they're invested in ensuring that you're happy with the results. It really makes you feel like you're in good hands.
And it's not just about bird mites. Freedom Wildlife Solutions offers a wide range of services, including bird control, pest control, rodent control, and wildlife removal.
Okay, so let's recap what we've learned so far. Bird mites, often brought in by birds nesting in vents, they can infest homes and businesses, causing those itchy bites, and even allergic reactions in humans. Freedom Wildlife Solutions, with their local expertise and certified technicians, offers a comprehensive approach to bird mite control, including detailed inspections, targeted treatments, nest removal, and preventative measures. They even provide ongoing monitoring and maintenance to ensure long-term protection. Plus, they're committed to educating their clients and empowering them to take preventative action. And importantly, they offer a satisfaction guarantee, demonstrating their confidence in their work and their commitment to their customers.
It's clear that Freedom Wildlife Solutions is a company that takes pride in its work and genuinely cares about helping people solve their pest problems. They emphasize their veteran and family-owned status, which often resonates with people looking for a trustworthy and reliable service provider.
Absolutely. It adds a personal touch. And it suggests that they're invested in the community. And their website really highlights their commitment to serving the Raleigh-Durham area and surrounding counties. Speaking of which, I'm curious to know more about their service area. You mentioned that they're based in Clayton, North Carolina, but what are some of the other areas that they cover?
Well, they service a surprisingly large area around Raleigh. We're talking Durham, Harnett, Johnston, Lee, Nash, Wake, Wayne, and Wilson counties. They even provide a detailed list of the towns that they service within each county. On their website.
Wow, that's quite a reach.
Yeah.
So if you are anywhere in those areas and you are dealing with bird mites, it sounds like Freedom Wildlife Solutions is definitely worth checking out. But I'm also curious about something else. You mentioned they offer a wide range of services beyond just bird mite control. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of those other services?
They offer a wide range of services, including they offer a wide range of services, including bird control, pest control, rodent control, and even wildlife removal.
It sounds like they're like a one-stop shop for any creature that's overstayed its welcome in your home.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is they're not just reactive. They also emphasize preventative measures like bird prevention and bat exclusion services. So they're focused on keeping those critters out in the first place.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
It's always better to prevent a problem than to deal with it after it's already, taken root.
Right. And when it comes to bird mites, prevention is especially crucial.
Yeah.
Because as we discussed, those infestations can be incredibly stubborn.
Yeah, those little survivors can really hang on. So it sounds like Freedom Wildlife Solutions has you covered, whether you're dealing with birds in your attic, mice in your walls, or those pesky bird mites lurking in the shadows.
Exactly. They have the experience, the knowledge, and the tools to handle a wide range of pest problems.
So thinking back to our discussion about bird mites, what are some key takeaways that you think our listeners should keep in mind?
Well, first and foremost, remember that bird mites are more than just a nuisance. They can cause real discomfort and even allergic reactions.
It's not just about the ick factor, it's about protecting your health and well-being.
Exactly, and early detection is crucial. If you notice any signs of bird mites, don't hesitate to reach out to a professional.
And Freedom Wildlife Solutions seems like an excellent choice, especially if you're in the Raleigh-Durham area.
Absolutely. Their commitment to customer satisfaction, their detailed inspections, and their thorough approach make them a top contender in the pest control industry.
And their preventative services are a game changer. It's all about creating a less hospitable environment for pests in the first place.
Speaking of preventative measures, what are some things our listener can do to make their home less attractive to birds, and by extension, bird mites?
That's a great question. I know that sealing up any cracks or holes in your home's exterior is a good starting point.
Right, birds can squeeze into surprisingly small spaces, so you want to make sure there are no easy entry points.
And what about vents? You mentioned earlier that birds often nest in vents. Is there anything you can do to prevent that?
There are special vent covers you can install that allow for airflow while preventing birds from getting inside.
That's good to know. And I imagine keeping your yard free of clutter and debris can also help discourage birds from hanging around.
Absolutely, and bird feeders can also attract birds. So if you have one, make sure it's placed away from your house.
So it's all about being proactive and taking those small steps. That can make a big difference in preventing a pest problem. Down the road,
Exactly, and if you do find yourself facing an infestation, remember that knowledge is power. Do your research, choose a reputable company, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
and Freedom Wildlife Solutions seems more than willing to answer those questions and provide expert guidance. Their website is a wealth of information, and their team is clearly passionate about what they do.
They really do seem to go above and beyond for their customers. Now, shifting gears a bit, I'm curious about something. You know how we've been talking about the importance of preventative measures and creating a less hospitable environment for pests?
Yeah, that's been a key theme in our discussion.
Well, it makes me wonder if there's a bigger picture here. What if instead of simply reacting to infestations, we focused on creating environments that are less attractive to pests in the first place?
That's a really interesting thought. It's almost like shifting our perspective
Yeah.
from battling pests to coexisting with them in a more balanced way.
Exactly. Maybe it's about understanding the ecosystems around our homes and working with nature rather than against it.
Perhaps by making our homes less hospitable to pests, we could reduce the need for reactive measures like pesticides and trapping.
It's a thought-provoking idea, and one that might just lead to a more sustainable and balanced approach to pest management.
It's definitely something to ponder. And maybe, just maybe, it could lead to a more harmonious coexistence with the creatures that we share our world with.
It's a fascinating idea, and maybe it's something we can all explore further.
It's all about finding that balance between protecting our homes and respecting the natural world around us. And that's what makes this deep dive into bird mite control so interesting. It's not just about getting rid of pests. It's about understanding the bigger picture and finding sustainable solutions.
Exactly, and it highlights the importance of choosing pest control companies that share that vision.
Companies like Freedom Wildlife Solutions, who prioritize education prevention and environmentally responsible practices.
They understand that true pest control isn't just about eliminating the immediate problem, but about creating a healthier and more balanced coexistence with nature.
Well said. So to wrap things up, if you're dealing with bird mites, or even just curious about pest control in general, remember that knowledge is power.
Do your research, choose reputable companies, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
And if you're in the Raleigh-Durham area, Freedom Wildlife Solutions is definitely worth checking out.
They offer a wealth of information on their website, and their team is always ready to answer your questions and provide expert guidance.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of bird mites. We hope you learned something new and feel empowered to take action.
Remember, a little bit of knowledge and prevention can go a long way in keeping your home pest-free and ensuring a harmonious relationship with the natural world.
Until next time, happy learning. It's funny, we often think of these pests as these invaders just trying to take over our homes, but maybe we're the ones who have encroached on their territory.
Yeah, that's a really good point. As humans continue to expand into natural habitats, those interactions with wildlife and the pests that inevitably come with them are only going to increase.
So it's not just about protecting our homes, right? It's about understanding our role in the ecosystem and finding ways to live in harmony with all the creatures around us. And maybe that starts with recognizing that pests like bird mites, they're just trying to survive, just like we are.
Absolutely. And while no one wants an infestation in their home, perhaps we can approach pest control with a bit more empathy and a focus on sustainable solutions that benefit both humans and the environment.
It's a shift in mindset that might just lead to a healthier, more balanced future for all of us.
It really might. And speaking of a healthier future, here's something to think about. Did you know that some researchers are exploring the use of beneficial insects, like predatory mites, to naturally control pest populations, including bird mites?
Wow, that's fascinating. It's like fighting fire with fire, but in a natural, eco-friendly way.
Exactly. It's all about finding those natural solutions that work with nature, not against it.
And it seems like Freedom Wildlife Solutions is on board with that approach, considering their emphasis on education, prevention, and responsible practices.
They really do. They seem to understand that true pest control isn't just about eliminating the immediate problem, but about creating a healthier and more balanced coexistence with nature.
Well said. So, to wrap things up, if you're dealing with bird mites, or even just curious about pest control in general, remember, knowledge is power.
Absolutely do your research, choose reputable companies, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
And if you're in the Raleigh-Durham area, Freedom Wildlife Solutions is definitely worth checking out.
For sure, they offer a wealth of information on their website, and their team is always ready to answer your questions and provide expert guidance.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of bird mites. We hope you learned something new and feel empowered to take action.
Remember, a little bit of knowledge and prevention can go a long way in keeping your home pest-free and ensuring a harmonious relationship with the natural world.
Till next time, happy learning.